bring your way the stories that are trending on our website. That is Press Review. We have stories on ABS website, and also we have stories on our national dailies. And our guest is already seated with us right here in the studio. Well, we are going to take a short break just to prepare your mind, to help you stay prepared. As we come back, we'll present to you what we have for you today. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. And our guest this morning is Paulson Okeke. Paulson Okeke is a public affairs analyst. Glad to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning, Chidimma. Good morning, viewers. Please join us this morning for us to interact.
All right, quickly, we are starting with the stories that are trending on our website. The first story we have there: Soludo's free education policy increases pupils' student enrollment in schools. Female lawyer who inflicted injury on maid denied charges, remanded till February 28. Hot weather: Mrs. Soludo asks nursing mothers to increase breast milk intake of babies. Okay, these are the stories on ABS websites this morning. Paulson, we have like 3 important stories there. So which one would you want to go for first?
I want to take the number one. Soludo's free education policy increases pupils, students' enrollment in schools.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the expected desire, the expected result. Because when the governor announced this school fees, free education, the intent was actually to cushion the effect, the problem parents have in paying the school fees of their children. And as well, to encourage children who could not go to school because of school fees to go to school. So this increment in the school population now is quite expected, is desirous. It is one of such policies governments enunciate to encourage school enrollment. Because with this now, children who are not going to school, citing excuses of my father and the things like that, will not go because nobody is asking them to bring any money in the name of school fees and the other things. So it is quite commendable, and we will continue to thank the governor of Anambra State for being very, very sensitive to the plights of parents who have especially those who have so many children. Because these days, people still give birth to 7, 8, 9, and then training them becomes a very big problem. At least the free education now in basic education, that is primary and the secondary, will at least make them to train their children up to that level. Then when it comes to university, it's a choice, and it is who can afford. But for these ones that is very, very basic, let them acquire the basic knowledge through the free education policy of the Anambra State government. So it is very, very commendable. Very, very commendable. The governor should be commended. And more parents should be able to take advantage of this free education to send their children to school.
All right.
Yeah. Then another one, the second story,
talking about female lawyer who inflicted injury on the house help.
Well, I think the evidence are there. So if she's denying she really inflicted any injury on the child, it is there. The child will now say who inflicted such injuries on her. Because when the news was trending, personally I was asking, you see, and I want to use this opportunity to appeal to these young mothers. If you know you cannot keep a maid, a ward, please stay on your own. Don't go and bring somebody's child and begin to do boss madam because the child is helpless. She's living at your mercy. And now you are using the child to do whatever you like. It is very, very bad. There's one I know. As early as 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, this woman is beating the housemaid. As early as 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, at any time you hear bah, 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 you look around, is the woman beating her housemaid. And you say, what kind of woman is this? A young woman at that. So amarazi ndị young mothers a na-eji ụmụaka akpọnyelụwa were amụ madam. Ọ bụzala ije wee mụ madam, ị marụ nna nwa awụ mmadụ maka na ọ bụ housemaid to you. Ọ bụrụkwa nna mamụ ya na ọ dịkalụ mamụ ya mma, owo ji wee kpọnye gị ya. Because ị mara echi na nwa nke gị ihe ọ ga-abụ. Ị mara ihe ga-eme na your destiny change ya. Nwa nke gị ejebekwe house help. Eluzie a na-akụ ya ụdị ihe kedu ka obi si ga na-atọ gị. So biko ịmalụ na ịma nzụnwu nwa ma ọ bụ na ị nwere temperament na ịma kontrolu dinwu ihe nwatakịrị mee malụ na nwatakịrị na ọ kpachara aka n'anya n'ọrụ onwe gị rapụ nwatakịrị ka ọ nọrọ be nne ya na nne ya.
Some people actually said the other day that probably we should be checking if some of these people that are involved in this kind of act, I mean, like the woman, whether they are mentally stable, because sometimes you don't even understand how someone that is sane and normal can inflict such injury on a child.
Yeah, like the case in point, look at that lawyer. At least by her training as a lawyer, she's supposed to know better than any other person. Knowing that there's this child abuse law, this law against child abuse. So she should know the consequences. And that is why I will support any measures taken to bring the woman to book and punish her appropriately.
All right, let's quickly go over to the papers we have for this morning. We are starting with the Vanguard newspaper. And the big story there is talking about hardship. DSS NLC in face-off over planned protests. That's the banner headline, the front page of Vanguard newspaper this morning. And then we have as riders, shelve your protests. DSS tells organized labor, add some elements, planning violence. Face your job, you can't stop us. NLC dares DSS. JAF takes on DSS, reaffirms support for NLC. And then a Papa gridlock, businesses lose 100 billion naira monthly as petrol tankers, containers occupy roads. Emefiele accuses Akpabio of defamation, demands 25 billion naira.
250 billion.
Okay, sorry, 25 billion naira. That's all we saw there. And then down there we can see Edo 2024 National Working Committee drops Uzodimma, appoints to conclude the primary today. Nigerians should give Tinubu more time. Gabo, this is coming from Gowon. And then police arrest Labour Party National Chairman Abure Obaloi in Benin. And then IMF sees Naira depreciating by 35% to 2,081 Naira per dollar in official market. And then sports, AFCON final, Ekong faults Pesiro's tactics. So these are what we have on the front page of Vanguard this morning. Should we start with the big story, talking about the hardship in the country? And NLC, they wanted to, I mean, they organized labor to come go for protest. But you see where DSS are warning them. In fact, they are trading words right now. DSS is daring them not to come out for the protest. And then NLC, they are telling DSS that they should face their job.
Yeah, I support NLC.
Okay.
Because DSS, to me, is trying to just intervene in any situation, in anything that concerns internal security. But we should know that DSS has a specific mandate, job description. It is not about that. The Constitution guarantees protest. It is there in the Constitution, especially when it comes to organized labor, making protest. And I wouldn't know DSS whether they are just doing their job for the interest of the nation, or they are doing their job for the interest of one person. We know that they are establishment people. They should try to protect the establishment they are working for. But they should not do that at the detriment of the rest of us, because they are still part of the society. I don't know any DSS official who will go into a filling station and buy fuel at 300 naira because he's a DSS officer. All of us are facing this problem. Therefore, whenever a group says, we don't want this, we don't like this thing, DSS should just allow them, the people, to exercise themselves. The protest is not, they are not pulling down the country. But they want to say, we don't like what is going on in our country. There is hunger. DSS, what have they done to cushion the effect of the hunger we have in the land? In Kano or in some parts of the country, there are protests here and there. Are there no DSS officials there? Why wouldn't they go and stop the masses protesting against the hardship? So DSS should allow us to breathe. They should just allow us to breathe.
It's not just the DSS. I think the other day in the papers we saw where the police they are warning.
I'm coming. It's not just DSS like I wanted to say.
Okay.
It is the police. All the security agencies should just go and face their job when it is necessary for them to step in. Let them step in. But as of now, there's nothing that they are doing to stop the hardship people are going through, and there's nothing they can do to tell the people not to protest. There's nothing they can do about it. The people are hungry. The people are angry as well. The government has lost focus. The government has no solution to the problems in the land. So, and you want to tell the people to continue living and moping and be dying. I don't know, because they are always insensitive. Whenever we talk about insensitive, it is gross insensitivity that is causing the problem in the land. Because whenever the president and his team, whenever they are talking like people who are not living in this country. Yet, they told Nigerians to tighten their belt, while they adjust their own belt. So what kind of government are we leading? They should lead by example. Our government is not leading by example.
Okay, so what should actually be the duty of the security agents, especially when citizens decide to come out and say that they want to protest? Where the protest is going on, what should they do at that point?
They should ensure that the protest is not hijacked by hoodlums to begin to destroy things. Not that people should not embark on protest, for goodness sake. People have the right to protest. But the security officials should ensure that hoodlums do not come and hijack it and begin to destroy things. That's what they should do. But telling hungry people who are so hungry as Nigerians, a bag of rice going for 80,000 naira. Rice is our common staple food.
Staple food.
So, and you tell people not to protest, and government has no plan at all to cushion the effect. I don't understand our people, honestly.
All right, so what is also your take on this statement by Gowon, telling Nigerians to give Tinubu more time?
Yeah, well, Gowon is an elder statesman. What else do you expect him to say? He's a former head of state. He's living in comfort. So for him to come and say, Nigerians, just exercise, just endure. What do you endure, for goodness sake? You endure the price of petroleum, that you cannot come out and enter bus at a price you can afford. Go to the streets, you see people trekking to all corners because they cannot afford the cost of transportation. And you tell people to endure. In Nigeria, all of us have seen good days in Nigeria. And because of cluelessness of the leaders, they come in, they say, we know your problems. And they created more problems than they come to solve. And you tell the people to endure. What do you endure? What do Nigerians endure? Do they endure that when they walk on the street, when they get home, they see food and eat? Do they endure electricity? What do they endure? What should Nigerians say? They are asking Gowon and his likes.
And giving him more time. How much time are we looking at?
How much time are we looking at? I want to say that. Because it is not endless. But they keep on promising, like the Minister of Finance talking last night in a retreat in Uyo. And he was talking, I was listening. I said, these people are just deceiving the citizens. Honestly. Because when a man who has hope for you, who has any promise for you is talking, you will know. When somebody is telling you, you should endure, you should know the time frame for your endurance, that between now and the next 6 months that it will be better. When the Naira is now as cheap as 2,200 to a dollar, that was handed over at 70 something, at 700 and something, sorry. 700 and something was handed over in less than a year. And under your nose, the thing skyrocketed to 2,000. And we say you should endure, we should endure. What do we endure? We live in a dollarized economy. Everything we do in this country is in dollars. And that is why this government cannot take a policy that we should do away with dollars and begin to transact our official transactions in Naira.
Naira, yeah.
We should abolish the use of dollar in this country. We should do our official transactions in Naira. Dollar is not our currency. So there's no way dollar is going to chew anyola now. But unfortunately, those of them in leadership position, they want to save in dollars. It was during campaign that this rubbish started. During presidential primary, they were sharing money in dollars. They were mopping up dollars everywhere to share to win primaries. They have succeeded. Now, let us see what they have cost us. But nobody is talking about that. Everybody, even a delegate who haven't touched dollar before, touched dollar because it was shared. And then now everybody now knows what it is to use dollar. And they know the worth of dollars. And everybody. So these people, they mop up dollars, they save in dollars. If you give them 20 Naira, they will go and convert it in dollar and buy dollar and put and keep.
And some of these people have their friends working in Bureau de Change at the parallel market. They are the people that are also there trading dollars and Naira.
Yeah, their friends.
Foreign currencies.
Of course. That is what they do to jeopardize the growth of our economy. And they try to blame it. Blaming it on who? They should blame themselves because they were the people who knows how to get dollars. And they use it to win presidential primaries. And now it is costing the nation a lot.
Well, we will not dwell on that for so long. Let's go to the Punch newspaper and see what we have on the front page of Punch. The big story there, TUC NLC split as DSS wants labor against planned protests. We've seen that at the front page of Vanguard. NLC took protest decision unilaterally. TUC alleges and vows to stay away from demonstration. Ajero accuses DSS of blackmail. Agency warns Labour against plot to destabilize nation. Senate rejects electricity tariff hike. Probes 2 trillion naira subsidy. 50th anniversary Punch holds exhibition to showcase iconic photos. Bank sells $172 million as CB and EFCC battle currency speculators. Then motorists groan as a fuel scarcity hits Lagos hard. Edo APC welcomes rerun after controversial governorship primary. Lagos prophet drowns during Valentine's Day beach hangout. And then 10 billion naira fraud, EFCC to arraign ex-Kwara Governor Ahmed on Friday. Okay. Let's also take the next paper so that we can analyze them together. And that's the Guardian newspaper. Customs 5 trillion naira target threatens trade and heightens price crisis. And that's on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper if you want to read more about that. And then 5 banks impairment charges heat. Charges heat. It's 580 billion naira in 9 months. Abure arrested in Edo as aggrieved candidate seek his prosecution. Borno engages monarchs on reintegration of repentant terrorists. Gowon urges ECOWAS to lift sanctions against Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Petrol queues spread nationwide as Ipman Merman blamed supply disruption. Transcript processing saga, how not to treat alumni of modern varsities and polytechnics. Tinubu gave governors 30 billion naira each to address food shortage. Lack of fund forces the Tigers out of AfroBasket qualifiers. Okay? Well, these are the stories we have in the front pages of these two newspapers this morning. Paulson, should we start with the story in the front page of Guardian, where they are saying that the president gave governors 30 billion naira each to address food shortage?
It is good. Maybe let's discuss that. Giving the governors 30 billion to tackle food shortages, I might ask, 30 billion naira, will it solve the problem? That's the problem. Will it solve the problem? Look at what is happening in the north, where the northern governors are now saying, don't buy food and take out of our states. It has become a resolution of the governors. So any truck you see carrying food out of your state, stop it, confiscate it, and go and share it to the people. So what it means that you don't take food to other parts of the country any longer. Look, so it has made the cost of food items in other parts of the country to skyrocket. So if you share this money, what is it going to do? The farmers who produce this food in the north, let's take for instance, this is the tomatoes period. Now the farmers are harvesting tomatoes in their farms, and they come out, you say you should not take it to Lagos or to the east to sell and make money. So what are they going to do with it? If they want to share it in Jos, for instance, is Jos market enough to buy up the commodity? Yes. Will it be enough? Because they produce it in commercial quantity. So wouldn't they sell to other parts of the country to make money? Or is it going to be only for Jos market? Or will government now begin to pay subventions to tomato farmers in Jos? Except they are going to do it, then the remnants, what happens to it? Because before you know, after 3 or 4 days, it will begin to perish. So what kind of decision is that? So if government say they are paying 30 billion to tackle food shortage, it is good. But to what extent will it happen? So what will be the way to implement it, to ensure that it actually solves the problem? So that is one thing they should also consider. Then it's going to be an ad hoc measure because it is not sustainable.
Yes.
That is one thing. So what will be sustainable is to make sure that you encourage more farmers to go to farm. So that by the time we are talking about food shortages this year, another season, we should begin to talk about abundance. But then you have encouraged farmers, give them money to go and farm.
And I know you also saw the story of where I think up to 30 trucks of food that is being diverted going to another country was intercepted somewhere in the northern part of the country. You're talking about food shortage, and then people still had enough that they want to go and sell in another country.
In another country, that is where they want to sell and make money.
More money.
And make more money. Now, except with this money, federal government are now released to governors. The governors will now begin to go to farms and buy up food items.
Okay.
But it would be better for federal government to do it direct, other than giving to governors. Because if you give to governors, the governors will still divert this money. Some of them will still divert that money instead of using it for the purposes it was meant for. They go and divert it, and the people will continue to suffer. So that is it.
Okay, let's also say the story, that one on top of the Punch newspaper, Senate rejecting electricity tariff hike, probing about 2 trillion naira subsidy. Now, we keep wondering, or personally, I keep wondering, in all sectors, I mean, nothing is going on, nothing is even happening in every sector of our economy. At this critical point where people are really suffering, people are going through a lot, they still want to add money in our electricity tariff. And then you keep wondering, who are these people? Are they not citizens of this country? Are they not also people, are they not seeing how people are suffering on a daily basis?
See, when we talk about people who are insensitive, you understand? When you talk about people being insensitive, that is pure demonstration of that. Because you cannot, no sane Nigerian will be talking about price increment now, as the country is. No sane Nigerian. So that will tell you the thinking of those in certain areas of authorities who believe that maybe they are given targets and they must meet that target by hook or by crook. You understand?
Yeah.
They want to make money for federal government and they don't care if the citizens are dead. All they are concerned is to make money for the federal government.
And what will the federal government use the money for?
They will still use it the way they use our money. So it is insensitive because last night when Senate was discussing it, I was watching them at plenary. And I was like, so people are talking about price increment. When that electricity, you are not seeing it. Because as they were talking about it, I was on Gen. So because all of us, most of us Nigerians are independent power producers. Most of us, so long as you use I pass my neighbor, you are independent power producer.
And lately, a lot of businesses are suffering
Are
because
crumbling.
you don't even see the light.
You don't see the light.
It's January. The
businesses
story
are
has been
crumbling.
something different.
Households are crumbling. What my wife had in her fridge all got destroyed. Because in the last 1 week, we don't have light in Ifite. And so on. And with the heat we have, many families had suffered, got destroyed. And here people are there discussing about price increase in the tariff. So there are people who are living in the moon. They are not living in Nigeria.
Oh.
Honestly.
What do you also have to say about the fuel scarcity all over the country now? Though from what we see in the front page of the Punch, it's hitting hard on Lagos State right now.
You see, whenever there is a gap in fuel supply system, there's always going to be a huge impact.
Yes.
Yeah, for 3-4 days, NATO went on strike. So there was no lifting. There was no supply anywhere. So the one that was available got dried up. So that's the problem.
And tanker drivers too went on strike.
NATO,
because they were actually agitating that they need to reduce the price of diesel that they used to power their tankers.
That's that. NATO went on strike. They issued notice of strike. Federal government did not take them serious. That is how they solve our problems in this country. So not until they went on strike Monday morning, and everybody began to run helter-skelter. So in running helter-skelter, the Minister of State for Petroleum called for a meeting that was deadlocked in the day, and they said they are going to meet in the night with the National Security Advisor. So with that, that's Nuhu Rebadu. With that, the meeting brokered the truce. And they said, okay, go back to work. So with that, there has been that gap
yes,
in supply and in supplier chain. So that gap, before it gets fixed again, they have to work at least 2 weeks to get it fixed.
And now people are selling petroleum products.
No, yesterday I bought 750.
Okay, 750.
Yes.
And I wonder what black market will be selling.
In other places.
Because somebody said that you went to a filling station.
No, this morning I bought black market for 900 naira.
Okay.
This is my wife coming to this studio.
Okay.
I bought black market 900 naira. So, but what we are saying is that maybe for this one, we should take NNPC by their words that they have commodity in their reservoir, but for the lifting.
Lifting, okay.
So,
now, you know, you made mention of something that this NATO gave warning before they embarked on strike, and nothing was done.
They gave
now, that got me worried. This protest at NLC that we are planning, do you think that anything positive will come out of it? Because probably the government or those people at the helms of affairs might see it. Is it not just protests? After that, they will still go back. And seeing what happened during NSAS, do you think that protests can, you know, bring anything positive around?
Let me just tell you something. You see why DSS is worried? Any protest in this country now will be spiral because people will join it. This government, I must tell you, needs to be protested against. At least to make them conscious of what they are doing. To make them know that Nigerians are not happy. To make them know that Nigerians are suffering. There's no point covering our ineptitude. The government has no vision, has no focus. The man who said he's our president is not encouraging anybody. The things that come out from his mouth is quite different from the things that he's doing. So you cannot reconcile what the president says. The president of late turned to a motivational speaker. But it is not motivation we are talking about now. We talk about concrete action to revamp the economy, to cushion the effect of what is happening, to give the people, or to make the people believe that you are actually doing something. And not telling the people, have patience, it will be better tomorrow. What will be better tomorrow? What are you doing that will be better tomorrow? That is the question every Nigerian keep on asking. Because everything keeps sliding and sliding and sliding. And you are telling the people, it will be better tomorrow. It is until people see the effort you are making in concrete terms. At least if Naira had been stabilized now, you say, people, have patience, it will get better tomorrow. Look at cement that was sold 6,000 Naira in January. People are now talking about 10,000, 12,000. So what percent were people going to have? And then what is going to be better? And so on.
All right, our next paper under review this morning is the Nigerian Tribune, and big story there. We're still talking about Naira crisis. EFCC raids Bureau de Change operators in Abuja, Ibadan, and Kano. And then we have up there, federal government said to begin direct cash transfer to 15 million Nigerians. Lift sanctions on Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Gowon tells ECOWAS, says it's too early to judge Tinubu. Senate to federal government, don't increase electricity tariff to investigate 2 trillion Naira subsidy, trillion Naira debts. And then Labour Party Chairman Abure arrested in Edo. Emefiele threatens to sue Akpabio for 25 billion Naira over alleged defamation. Arrest anyone planning to use our protest to cause crisis, NLC charges DSS. Fresh APC primary, National Working Committee sacks Uzodinma, replaces him with Cross River Governor. Inconclusive poll to be concluded today. PDP to hold primary election amid tight security. Akeredolu raised his voice to speak truth to power. Aida Tewa, special court session, commendation service holds in Akure, or stand still as traditional procession holds. And now, you've seen the stories we have in front of Nigerian Tribune this morning. So, which one?
I want to talk about APC primaries.
Okay.
Yeah, like the trending videos where Governor Uzodinma was conducting primaries. It was a very big shame. Very big shame. 200, 250, 299, 500. And that is a governor with integrity. He doesn't know how to count figures again.
No.
A governor of a state who believes in a due process. A governor of all the people in this country, counting 200, 250, 300, 300, 500. And at the end, he declared somebody winner, and that person was jumping up. I won. I was looking at Governor Uzodimma and I was thinking about Hope Uzodimma we know. Onwe ihe ndị Igbo sịrị na ọ bụrụ na agwọcha onye ala na-ada agwọ ntamu. Onye ife dị n'ọbala ọ dị ya n'ọbala. Anyị maara Hope Uzodimma, Nigerians maara ya. We know his antecedents. We know where he came from. So, ọ jọrọ njọ rinne that somebody as highly placed as governor of Imo State could not conduct a credible primaries. My brother, ego ne ka enyere gị. Okay, wepụ ego because amara m ụdị ego ị na-achọ, o nwere ụdị ego ị nwebeghị. So, can't you believe in your integrity? And we are talking about a bad system. So must we continue the same way? So we cannot find a way to change, to make things right, like people who have senses. I was so much ashamed when this man was counting people on the queue, and he was counting them jumping figures, just to make it a host a winner.
Probably one person, he said he was counting 200, 250. One person, he summed up that the 50, but I'm just,
and he forgot that people are there with cameras.
Yes.
Recording him. That at last that this camera will trend. I mean, these videos will trend. I was, I know that I'm seeing hope me ha. So here I can so
okay, let's see if the Cross River governor will do better, because from what we see in the front page of Tribune, they have sacked Uzodimma and they are going to bring in the Cross River governor. Yeah, so let's see if he's going to do better.
Yeah, let's see, because governor of Cross River has seen what happened. So let's see whether he will come to make things the way things should be made, and do things as a man who has senses. Let's see.
All right. What's also your reaction to this? Federal government set to begin direct cash transfer to 15 million Nigerians.
Yeah. When I saw the Minister of Finance saying it again, I said, I with the former Minister of what's her name, of Humanitarian
Affairs,
was a conduit pipe. So have they started again?
And now, who are these Nigerians that this money is
that's
going
the question
to be
all of us
to?
keep on asking. What are the parameters for doing that? What are the parameters? What are the bases? Who are the Nigerians? The poorest of the poor. Who are they? Where are they? Are they located in one part of the country or across the country? Because poorest of the poor are scattered all over everywhere, parts of the country. Has anybody taken time to find them, to fish them out wherever they are, and so on? Because the one conducted by a former Minister of Humanitarian was purely centered in one part of the country. It was a ploy to get money and go and share people who don't contribute anything to the growth of the economy. It was a ploy, and they did it, they succeeded, nobody questioned them. And today the country is left in a mess. In a mess they created. In fact, since the days of Buhari till he left, Nigeria plummeted so drastically that we took, some people will say, we took 10 steps forward and took 30 steps backward.
Well, if you ask me, I think if they want to be fair, they should just disburse this money in states. I mean, not the state governor, but probably they will just appoint officers that will be in charge, but on state level, not from federal government. You are telling me that you're sending money to Nigerians. So what are the modalities? Who are these Nigerians? Because if you just leave it for the federal government to do it, it will just be centered on one area. So we have 36 states plus the FCT, making it 37. So appoint officials in these states and hand over this project to them and see how it, and then monitor the activities.
And that is the only way to do it, and it will have a semblance of fairness.
Exactly.
That's the only way to do it.
All right, quickly, let's just close with this particular one. All right. I mean, we don't really have time again. We have to go because we have the discussion segment this morning. Our time is fast spent. And on that note, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Paulson KK, for being part of the press review this morning. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it on Press Review. We want to thank you so much for also being part of it. Everyone that listened and watched us this morning, thank you so much. We're taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
Ready for school? Yes! My champs, they use energy at school. I know because imagine the energy they may have used up to return home this transform every day.
Your champs need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast.
It has nutrients that support energy release to help champs get the most out of their active days. Milo!
With its urban renewal agenda, the Saludo administration has started the Operation Clean Up Onitsha, Oka, Nnewi, Ekwulobia, and other major cities in the state. The governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Saludo, has already set the pace by personally joining in the desilting of gutters and drainages in Ochanja and its suburb. A sustainable, clean,